What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video on the Texas Rangers report. And in this video, I'm going to be going over 5 outfield targets the Rangers can look at after this lockout is over. And hopefully this lockout ends today. But if this is your first time watching the Texas Rangers, make sure to subscribe right now because I'm your #1 source for all things Texas Rangers on YouTube. And also make sure to check out the Discord. That link will be in the description down below. Without further ado, obviously, after this lockout, the outfield is a big area the Rangers need to address because obviously we have Adolis Garcia that will play center. There's still question marks with him. Kole Calhoun in right. There's question marks with him. But do we really want Willie Calhoun in left or Nick Solak in left? I would rather address that left field spot in free agency or via a trade. So the first guy on my list is Kyle Schwarber. I think he would be the best player on this list, the most expensive as well. But is he really a left fielder? No, but I'm okay with that because if he plays left field, he's not going to be that great, but his bat is what you're buying, and he's going to be very productive. So Kyle Schwarber is my #1 option. Yes, he had the down year in 2020, but a lot of people had the down year in 2020. Joey Gallo, for instance, and then both of those guys came back in 2021 and they raked. So Kyle Schwarber maybe will come around 15 million, around 4 years. Is he realistic? I don't know, but that's my #1 option. Second on my list, and this will be coming in via free agency, would be Jorge Soler, another guy who's all about the bat, doesn't really play great defense, but this guy had an underrated season in my opinion. If you look at his weighted runs created plus, doesn't translate. If you look at his WAR, doesn't translate. However, if you look at the advanced stats like expected WOBA, expected home runs, and barrel percentage, etc., those favor Jorge Soler tremendously because he has a lot of pop in the bat. It wasn't as good as his 2019 season, although obviously there was a deadened ball in the 2021 season and juice ball in 2019. Although I still think there is good potential in Jorge Soler. He wouldn't be good in the outfield. Probably you need to play him at DH, and then you would use somebody else to play in the outfield. But at this point, I just feel like it's not really too much about the outfield situation. It's more about buying a bat, and you definitely buy a good bat with Kyle Schwarber, and I think you buy an underrated bat with Jorge Soler. And I think he would be an underrated cheap option as well. And another thing I'd like to mention is that he played more than half his games in Kansas City, and Jorge Soler, you're buying him for his home runs, and he walks a good amount. And Kansas City was actually a really hard place to hit home runs. So I think that you could see a 30+ home runs from Jorge Soler next year. Third on my list, another guy you could sign for a 1-year prove-it-deal would be Pham. For the exact same reasons as Jorge Soler, he doesn't have the same amount of pop, but the expected numbers from Baseball Savant favor Pham tremendously. And he's another guy that doesn't play the outfield super well, but he is pretty fast, so I do think he could play left field, and then he wouldn't just be a DH type of guy. And he's also been saying that he's looking at working at first base, so that's a little versatile player right there. And just another guy that the sabermetrics favor him. I think he could favor from just changing his scenario and just being on a 1-year prove-it deal. Fourth on my list is Suzuki. I'm not so high on him. I know he does have the potential to be a 5-tool player. It's just, I think he's going to cost a little less than Kyle Schwarber, but definitely the most expensive guy on this list. I don't know if I want to dish out that much money to a guy with that much risk. If he hits, he could be one of the best outfielders in the league. I've heard comps that he could be like Ronald Acuna. Will he be a Ronald Acuna? No, we have to be realistic. Ronald Acuna is generational talent. But if he hits, he could definitely be an all-star type of player. But if I was spending, let's just say Suzuki's 10 million, I'd rather spend extra $5 million and get Kyle Schwarber and know I have a proven commodity instead of having a bad contract down the road. That's why he comes in at 4th on my list. Obviously, there's been good success stories from Japan. Obviously, Shohei Ohtani, Ichiro Suzuki, etc. But there's also been a lot of fail stories as well. So that's why he only comes in at 4th. But I do know he's walked more, he's struck out in Japan. But for a team that's trying to compete, I'd want to have somebody that's proven their success in the major leagues. And 5th on my list is a trade, actually, and that would be trading for Max Kepler from the Minnesota Twins. This guy has 3 years left on his contract, and I don't know if the Twins really want him on the roster anymore. They were a team that was pretty competitive for the past couple of years. They didn't compete last year. He could be on the trade block. I know they have Byron Buxton, they have Alex Killaroff, and Trevor Lenarch. So I don't know where he fits into their plans, but he's a guy that came off a really good 2019. He finished with some MVP votes, and I think he would take a good prospect haul to acquire him, but not as much as a Matt Olson or Luis Castillo. And I think he could be an underrated trade target because he came off a bad 2021, and not a lot of people will be expecting much from him. But in my opinion, he's kind of like Jorge Soler, Tommy Pham. The expected numbers look really good for him, but also the defensive numbers look really good. So you can put him in right field, you could put him in left, and I think that he could see a good turnaround in 2022. Although just note that in Minnesota, that is a good ballpark to hit home runs. So I don't know if we could see a big increase in his home runs here in Texas. But those are my 5 outfielders that I want the Rangers to target after the lockout. 1 being Kyle Schwarber, 2 being Jorge Soler, 3 being Tommy Pham, 4 being Seiya Suzuki, and 5 being Max Kepler. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up down below and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.